found the GroomPod. Welcome to our virtual salon. My name is Susie, and I'm your host. I'm a mobile groomer from Seattle, Washington, and anybody who knows me will tell you I love to talk, especially about my job. And one of my favorite people to talk to is my friend and mentor and the co-star of this show, the curator of ingredients, Miss Barbara Bird.
Hey, Susie, so happy to be with you this lovely Sunday. It's a lovely day here in South Carolina. And but I can see outside at your windows that it doesn't look like too terrible a day there in state of Washington, but you're not floating away.
It's 10 to 11, and it looks like it's 4 in the afternoon.
Ah,
It's really dark. It's dark. It's not raining right now, but it will be because that's what happens here. But I'll tell you what, we have a packed show, Barbara, today. But we have to start we're going to start on a heavier note, though. Recently in the grooming world, we lost a true giant. We're taking a moment to honor the life and legacy of Christensen, a man whose innovations quite literally changed the way we work at our table. And then after that, after we pay our respects, we're shifting gears to something a little more pungent. We're talking about Frito Feet and what causes the corn chip smell and how to manage it in the salon and how to help our people at home. And then we're bringing some fresh 2026 ready ideas on how to grow your client list and build a brand new brand that keeps those books full. Plus, we're going to be doing a deep dive on Zymox products.
yeah, let's get going.
Welcome to episode 470 of the GroomPod. Yay! We wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for the support of our sponsors. And those sponsors are Best Shot, Show Season, Precision Sharp, Groommore, and Stasco. And you guys can sponsor us as well by going to the podcast website, thegroompod.com, and joining us on Patreon or sharing it with a friend or liking or, all of those neat little things. But what's new this week is brought to you by Groommore Software.
Is your mobile grooming business running you ragged? Stop zigzagging across town and start scheduling smarter with GroomMore. Our smart route scheduling and automated wait lists keep your van moving and your table full. From intake forms to QuickBooks syncing, GroomMore handles the boring stuff so you can focus on the fun. Visit groomore.com to start for free. No credit card required.
Well, before we move on to our first appointment, I want to take a moment to honor a true titan in the grooming industry who we recently lost. And that is Chris Christensen. If you've ever picked up a Chris Christensen tea brush or marveled at the finish of a white-on-white treatment, you've experienced Chris's genius. He didn't just manufacture products, he revolutionized the way we think about canine aesthetics. Starting in 1990, Chris saw a gap in the market. While others were making generic tools, he was obsessing over coat-specific solutions. He treated dog grooming like high-end hair care, focusing on the science of the follicle and the ergonomics of the brush. Chris was a fixture at trade shows, always ready to listen to feedback and share his passion. The grooming world feels a little quieter without him, but his legacy lives on in every beautifully finished coat and every grooming kit around the globe. Rest in peace, Chris, and thank you for everything you gave to our community. So I got to work with him in developing his ear cleaner pretty closely. It was really fun. I got to test the product and give him feedback, and then he'd adjust things and he'd send it back out to me. And so I got to know him a little bit that way.
So what product was that?
It was his ear cleaner when he first came out with it or readjusted whatever he had before. And it was really fun. I love to be involved in that kind of product development. I know you've done a fair amount of product development yourself. It's fun. It's interesting. It's neat to see the end product after you've given feedback and they've changed something. But at the end, he gave me a really cool hairbrush that was made of fancy hardwood from Africa.
Blackwood, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I still use it every day. It's my favorite hairbrush. I've never needed to replace it. The pins have held in place because that was way back before the newer manufacturing methods. Oh my gosh, I love that brush. I liked having dinner with him. He was fun to talk to. He was an interesting hippie guy. And yeah, what you worked closer than I did with them, certainly. Do you want to share any of your feelings?
It's a loss to our industry, but he's been gone for a few years from the industry. So we knew that it was going to happen. We thought maybe he would live on forever, but I had a great year working for it was my 70th birthday, and I was going out to trade shows and speaking, sponsored by one of the top companies in the industry. It was like a real high. I loved it. And then I spent time at the booth selling whatever, selling. I had a funny experience though, because I had my own little philosophy of retail. That is that I would coach the customer to choose the right tool for the job. And so one time a customer picked up a comb and they were telling me about what their dog's coat was. And I said, well, no, this is not the comb you want. You want this other comb. Oh man, I got in trouble for that
Oh,
because that's not how you sell. You, you, if they pick it up, you ring it up. Period. You
oh.
don't question their choices. If it doesn't work out, they'll come and buy another one. So I don't know. So that was a little bit of a disappointment. So there were ways in which Chris Christensen and I meshed, and ways in which we clashed. And in spite of that, I adored them and they loved me. And it was a great fun, lots of good dinners. And I subsequently was offered a full time job for them, but I would have had to move to Bumfuck, Texas.
Oh.
Their property was on the same lot as their factory, and it was in a very rural small town in Texas, totally not my kind of place. No, I I respectfully refused the job. I just though they have a had a double wide trailer on the property that they were gonna let me live there. It was like no rent, no, I could bring my dogs, they would have a safe yard. It was just a lot of good reasons to go. And I just couldn't. I just couldn't give up my independence and become that dependent on an employer. So I thank them immensely. They other little interesting feature is that they only used me for 1 year because three of the other trade show promoters came to the Chris Christensen booth at Inner Groom. It took Chris and his wife Lisa off, and they advised Chris not to use me because one time, for example, I wrote a blog post about using dish soap on your Bichon, dish soap, vinegar, and I forget what my third ingredient was, but it was before we had hypoallergenic shampoos. that were really meaningfully hypo. And it had already been like 10 to 15 years before that. But you see, I was so threatened by the vendors that the vendors didn't want me because I had this thing about ingredients should be disclosed. And it was so threatening that, they all ganged up. My contract was not renewed for further speaking, and I loved it. I just loved it. I loved working with Chris. He was such a nice guy, just a genuinely nice guy. And he and Lisa were so passionate about their business and so bright and with it and cool people. It was really special, and he was a perfect ambassador for our industry because he was such a gentleman and so well spoken and so well thought of. It was a great blessing that I got to work for him for a year.
Yeah, it's a real loss, definitely. They had sold the company prior, so that really doesn't affect that part of it. But anyone who knew him probably at some point in time got a chance to chat with him at a trade show and recognized what a cool dude he was. And he, like I say, will be missed.
Yeah, and I got everything for free. Everything I wanted, any scissors that I wanted, anything that I wanted, I got for free for that whole year. Whoa, that that was wonderful.
Ah, it's so nice to be you. It's even nice to be on your
Yeah,
coattails. Sometimes I get a little of that.
you're getting it. You're getting it. You're becoming famous in your own right, girl. Don't sell yourself short. You're not just the technical person.
I do like being the technical person, though, but yes, thanks for the recognition there.
Well, I know. I'm glad you do because I don't like it at all. Because I have meltdowns. Okay. It's true. I have big meltdowns about when the technical shit doesn't work.
We
Ah,
always survive, though. Here we are. All right, well, let's take a quick
well, thanks to
Well,
you.
thanks. Let's take a quick break, and then we're going to be back with our first appointment, which is about stinky feet and growing your business. Let me tell you about Best Shot's newest addition to the Ultramax Pro line. Ultramax Hair Hold is a flexible hairspray that can be layered on for a stronger hold. Ultramax Hair Hold Spray is great, but my favorite new product is called the Max, and I won't groom without it. It's a fragrance-free ultra-concentrate conditioner and detangler. It reduces drying time and handles undercoat and tangles like magic. Just a few drops in the final rinse or spray it on and dry it in. Contact your favorite Best Shot distributor or learn more online at bestshotpet.com. Grooming success begins with Best Shot in your tub. Made from the best stuff on earth. The GroomPod and Precision Sharp would like to invite you to check out the newest precise cut shear called Lynx. Its patented design features a thumb ring that slides the length of the handle for perfect ergonomic placement of your thumb. Slide it, lock it into place, and get your best grooms on. Check it out at precisionsharp.com. Ready, groomers? Here comes our first appointment. First, we're stepping into a topic that every pet professional knows all too well. It's that scent that hits you the moment a dog walks onto your table, that unmistakable, salty corn chip aroma that we affectionately call Frito Feet. But beyond the funny name, what's actually happening between those paw pads? Why do some dogs smell stronger than others? And where do we as professionals draw the line between a routine bath and a medical referral? Barbara, I know you've seen it and smelled it, so let's dive in. What's the science behind the snack food scent, and how can we keep our clients' paws healthy and fresh?
All right. Tell us, Susie.
The Frito smell happens when Pseudomonas and Proteus bacteria produce a yeasty, sweet, corn like odor as they break up the sweat and the skin cells. And as you guys know, dogs have sweat glands in their feet and in their nose. Those are the only two spots on a dog that actually sweat. So the feet, just by the way they are kind of constructed, encourage warm and wet environment, which is what bacteria loves. They warm and wet is their jam, man. and dark.
That, like in between the toes, dark in there. Yeah.
It's a big problem here in the Northwest. I mean, a huge problem because the dogs are constantly, if they go outside to pee, they're getting their feet wet. And unless you know that's what the smell is, you don't know that you probably should dry your feet off, dry your dog's feet off. A lot of people end up having to do that just because they don't want the dog's feet to be irritated.
And you know why that is? Pseudomonas. Pseudomonas aeruginosa, the invisible enemy of all dog groomers, because it lives in water. It lives in mud. It lives in rain. It lives in the bathtub.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. The only thing that keeps us from not surviving Pseudomonas aeruginosa is that it has some enemies, but that's another podcast. So,
And then their feet get sore. And then what do? They lick.
they lick and lick and lick and lick and lick. Or they itch. Even before they get sore, they might itch. Like sometimes a dog can itch in a place where it can't reach, and so it'll lick its feet.
I tell people that, and they're like, really? And I said, yeah, there's a problem right here on the dog's butt, but the dog can't get to his butt there. So it licks something it can get to, like the inside of the thigh or the belly or somewhere where they can get it. So you've got to be a detective. And the mouth has bacteria too, because it's kind of can be gross with some bad teeth and stuff like that. So they're introducing more bacteria into the environment, making it wet. It's constantly being irritated. What can we do, though? What can we do to combat the whole scenario? And I was always taught that trimming the hair out of there is a good idea. I don't know how people feel about that these days, though, since it's a little bit like ear hair, where ear hair has a function in that it wicks stuff out of your ear. But if you leave the ear hair in and it gets no air in there, it doesn't dry out. It can grow the same kind of stuff that the feet grow. How do you feel about that?
I think it's important to trim the hair on the feet so it doesn't have unnecessary slippers. Hello, Cavalier.
Do you dip in?
We do clean the feet, the bottoms of the feet as groomers, but when I went to Scotland, I stayed at the home of somebody that had a school of grooming in Scotland, and she told me that in Scotland they didn't clip in between the pads of the feet because it was considered protective.
That's exactly what I wonder.
So, excuse me, the Westies are still working dogs in Ireland. But speaking of Westies, they're one of the dogs that has a bigger chance of getting skin problems. I'm going to be kind of getting into some of that now that I've hooked up with Chris Pearson Surtzel, or we call her Pierstel.
I invented that.
That's your new name, Chris. Susie accidentally, on purpose, invented that name because she started to swallow Chris's name while she was introducing her to y'all. We think it's a great name for her because those two names, you're always not forgetting which one is supposed to come first, because some of her names, one of them's her maiden name and the other one's her married name. And she kept going back and forth with her husband. She would take his name and it would be Pearson Churchill, and I don't know. It was changing, and
So this is her new name. We've
so
christened
this is
her.
it. So this is her new name,
So you're going
Kirsten.
to do a little bit more in that stuff. Do you have something coming up, maybe?
Yeah, well, yeah, because Chris and I and some other of the advanced canine estheticians that have certification, we're coming out with a online magazine called The Canine Esthetician.
Cool.
Say that 5 times fast. It's going to be an online journal, and there's going to be several contributors, and I'm going to be contributing a monthly column on ingredients. Duh, of course.
I got really excited when I heard about this.
There's going to be an at the tub column, especially for tips and stuff about lotions and potions to use in the tub. And it's going to be just like really top notch and also fun. And no ads. We're not getting paid. It's a labor of love because we love you. Why should I start making money now? I've gotten by all
Well,
this
I
time.
was really excited to hear about this, and then I found out that it's at this point only available to people who have taken the course.
It is to start out. Yeah, I needed to ask her. There's got to be some others, like guests. You would be my guest, or people who have other canine esthetician certification, who certified under Michelle.
Knowles. And you and Chris may be doing a webinar coming up, so stay tuned for that. In Scotland, they don't cut the hair between the pads. Do they cut the hair off on the bottom of the pads? Because I do think that helps on inside dogs
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, and I think there are times, just as with plucking of ears, there are times where you look at the inside of a dog foot and you know that is icky. There's cactus in there or something.
A big rock, a mat, a solid mat in there that probably feels like the dog's walking on a rock. Those
Yeah.
have to come out. And sap is another one. If you've got sap in there, that's got to come out. But as a rule, don't dig in there maybe and irritate that area if you don't have to, because then the licking starts and then the moisture and it becomes like an avalanche.
There are 2 things that I would tell. There are 3 things. I would tell the pet owner a few things.
And they are.
And I'll think of them in just a minute. It's so fun being 86 years old. Yeah. No, I would ask the owners to put the dog on a good probiotic supplement for dogs, because there is an undeniable, scientifically established, reestablished, reconfirmed connection between the health of the biome in the gut and the health of the biome of the skin. So there's a gut skin connection, and it starts with the gut. It doesn't go from the skin out. It starts with the gut, and if the gut is lacking in the right kind of microbiotics, it can't send any messages or anything through the bloodstream to the skin. I don't know how the skin is signaled by the gut, but somehow there's a traffic pattern. And what you want on both places is a real diverse, just like the kind of environment I want. I want a diverse environment. I want people. I want little people. I want big people. I want every color. I want different languages. What I loved living in San Francisco, Susie, was that I could walk down a city street and hear these different languages being spoken. I loved that. Anyway, what am I saying?
Tangent.
Oh, put the dog on probiotics and put an Elizabethan collar or some kind of a non-chewing mechanism on the dog. Don't let it lick its feet until the itching and everything stops, until the feet heal, because otherwise they'll just go right back to it. They won't leave it alone. And it's just for a couple of weeks out of their little lives.
So, what's the third thing? So, probiotic, protect the area with an e-collar or a barrier of some sort like socks.
To do something that a humectant kind of a lotion or a potion to moisturize the skin and help it return to a healthy balance. And if I think of my original third number, I'll I'll let you know.
Okay. So, I think when you bathe that dog in your shop, you do the feet separately with either chlorhexidine or an antibacterial shampoo on the feet. Do that when the dog's in the bath. But I don't think you need to do the whole dog in an antibacterial or antifungal shampoo. But I would do that myself and wash it out really well.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because I think you're right on that. If people are using the chlorhexidine, because the chlorhexidine can really kill too much of the good stuff that's on there. And although it doesn't seem to be a total disinfecting for one application or even several applications, the skin biome takes a big hit when you use chlorhexidine. And it's just will keep the dog's skin always working, just trying to keep up with the inability of the good bacteria to do their job. They're killing off too much of the good stuff along with some of the bad stuff.
I'll counterpoint that. There's an overgrowth. There's an overgrowth in the pads. I think that you do need to kill some of that off because chlorhexidine doesn't kill everything. And we're not talking about doing it every day. We're talking about a dog that comes through your shop and you notice that the feet are inflamed, or one that has been at a vet hospital and you've been instructed by the vet to use a specific type of thing on the feet if they've gone to the vet for that. But then super important after the bath and after the antifungal is, like you were saying, put something moisturizing in there. Also, I think Gold Bond medicated powder might help in the pads of the feet in the in-between time. What do you think of that? They won't like to lick it.
I don't like it for feet because they lick their feet, unless you can just promise.
Well, if you're already using an e-collar or a barrier on the feet, maybe a little Gold Bond instead of the
chlorhexidine.
Either instead of the chlorhexidine or instead of the chlorhexidine and the moisturizer, because the wet environment, the moisturizer is going to keep it moist in there. If you put the Gold Bond in, then it's got a little antifungal kind of an action in there, and then it would also dry it out. Just thinking out loud. I don't know. That's why I'm posing the question. So you guys will have to come up with your own thoughts on this. I'm asking Barbara because she has more sciencey knowledge than I do. I've got more vet in my ear kind of stuff. So that's why I'm thinking drying it out rather than moistening it up. But I understand the need.
I am anxious to tell you about the Zymox shampoo.
What a
And
great
I
segue.
kind of wish that we had that conversation first.
How about if we have it right now?
Well, we're going to have it right now.
Well, we were going to do another topic in there, but we don't have to. We can just go straight into the Zymox right after this. Let's do that.
Okay.
We're going to just take a quick break right now, and then we'll be back with B-Bird's Classroom. Hey, GroomPod listeners, clear your calendars for March 12th. The legendary show season tent sale is back in Tucker, Georgia, and it's bigger than ever. We're talking free door prizes for everyone, massive raffles from Utsumi and Groomers Mall, and a chance to win a K92 dryer from Electric Cleaner Company. Learn from the best with live demos by award-winning masters Nathan and Katie Austin. Plus, enjoy free shipping on all show season brand orders placed at the event. Coffee and lunch are on the house, but you must RSVP for a ticket. Head to showseasongrooming.com right now to register for free. See you at the tent.
Groomers, take your seats. It's time for B-Bird's Classroom.
So one of our people asked about Zymox shampoo. Barbara, let's talk Zymox.
Oh, I'd be glad to talk Zymox because I very much enjoyed taking a deeper look at this brand, and I really wish I had done it sooner because I was very impressed. First of all, I'm impressed with their marketing because they don't overblow it. You know, it's like show season, just pretty much straight descriptive terms that you understand, and not a lot of fluff and hype. Practically none. It's just straight on. So a long time ago, I used the Zymox ear stuff to clear up a nasty yeast infection in a dog, either that I groomed or was one of mine. I can't remember right now, but it worked really well, and I've used it several times on kind of like nipping dog ear infections in the bud, and I knew it was enzyme driven because the name, hello, Zymox, Zymox. So I said, oh God, I need to take a look at this. And I've got two dogs that have got this strange skin thing going on, right? And so I bought the shampoo and the conditioner. One thing I loved about the conditioner, Susie, is that you could use it as a leave-in, a rinse through, or a salve.
That's nice.
So I can put this stuff, it's basically a conditioner, but it's just made so that it can be safe staying on the skin. And it's actually good for staying on the skin because it's got this enzyme system, which is 3 enzymes.
This is very applicable for the feet thing. I think that's pretty cool.
They've got a foot product that I'll get to.
Oh, cool. Well, let me just say this. If you tell your owners to dry the feet, that's one thing, when they come in from the wet. The other thing is, if it gets bad, send them to the vet.
So Zymox has these 3 enzymes that work together. I'm going to just tell you what they do. They work together to make it be antibiotic.
Oh.
And antifungal. They work together. They are the same enzyme system found in mother's milk, colostrum, that protect the baby's skin from popping out of the womb and freaking out and getting a dysbiosis, right?
A who what?
Dysbiosis means an imbalance. Dysbiosis, biological biologically something went wrong, osis, right? Dysbiosis.
Got it. That's a good one.
Vocabulary word for the day. There'll be a test.
Ah,
The three enzymes that are called the L3 system,
uh-huh.
lysozyme, an enzyme that works as a natural biotic by breaking down the bacterial cell walls. That's a good way to go if you're a bacteria. Okay.
Effective.
It's effective. It's quick. They're out of there. Lactoferrin. Lactoferrin is a protein that binds iron, making it unavailable to bacteria. And it also has direct bactericidal and antiviral properties found found in the baby's milk. And lactoperoxidase, an enzyme that generates potent antimicrobial compounds. The lactoperoxidase is the peroxide that works with the other two to make the antibiotic magic. The stuff has been researched. It does not disrupt the natural skin biome. It doesn't, it's proven, it's scientific, it's established that there's very little upset, maybe a little teeny spillover. Whoops, I accidentally killed you, sorry. Don't get me dramatizing the podcast. It'd be another whole thing. Okay, so hey, then in addition to the L3, the big three, they also utilize vitamin D3, which is a moisturizing vitamin, and oatmeal, which oat extract, not oatmeal, but oat extract, which is a really decent moisturizer for the skin. So this product, it has just a very kind of complicated upscale cleansing mechanism using PEG 80 sorbiton laurate and a bunch of other things. It's a very good cleansing system with a couple of other things for the formula and added this L3, the three enzymes with the oat extract and the vitamin D3.
That complex of things is in everything.
It's in everything. And they have an oral product for bad breath. They have a foot, they call it. Let me read to you. I just ran into a really interesting statement about topical use of vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 offers benefits like reducing skin inflammation, boosting immunity, promoting skin repair, and fighting signs of aging, as if a dog cares, by improved barrier function, improving the barrier function. They aids in cell turnover and protecting against oxidative stress. This vitamin D3 is one hardworking additive vitamin that I can get behind. They use it in their shampoo, they use it in their conditioner that you can use as a topical lotion, and they use it in the foot stuff. I think they use it a lot. And I think that there again, bad itching is often a result of really dry skin. If the skin is inflamed and licked, it's going to have a lot of moisture loss, TEWL, transepidermal moisture loss.
This is cool. So their foot thing is called Funky Paws.
Yeah, funky paws.
Also for the folds on the bulldogs and the bloodhounds and and all that stuff. So
And the pug
I want to
thing.
try some of this stuff. Now I remember getting a sample from them somewhere along the lines and liking it, but I've never actually bought the product, so I might have to look into that.
of all of the things that I've used on my dogs to try to clear up this scaly, like they don't smell like Fritos but there again, when it comes to my dogs, sometimes I don't smell them.
Nose blind.
Yeah, nose blind, or either that or I automatically hold my breath.
I think I call that a grooming survival skill. Sometimes you just have to do that.
The shampoo, I've given little 2 baths, but the first bath, boom, I was way down the road. Overnight, the lesion started releasing some scabs, releasing scalies that form the scab that covers the inflamed skin. So I really like that. 2 days later, I was able to comb out a whole lot of little scabbiness. And Marco, I used the conditioner as a salve on the lesions. And he also cleared up right away. Still got a little bit happening, but they probably need 2 or 3 baths of this. But it's very good stuff, and it's been tested and discovered that it does not kill off the friendly bacteria and microbes that live on your skin. That is the important part. We're just getting to appreciate the importance of the skin biome more and more as it's being studied and the science is coming out. So what's really going on there? It's fascinating.
Very cool.
Well, for me, but then again, I'm old.
All right.
I love this stuff.
Now, let's just briefly discuss things we can do in 2026 to get more clients. Because now that we tackled the science of the skin, let's talk about the backbone of any successful salon or shop or mobile, and it's the schedule. We all want a fully booked sign in the window. But in 2026, getting clients isn't just about putting a flyer out on the coffee shop corkboard. It's about branding and community and wow factor that keeps people coming back. How do you attract your dream clients? And more importantly, how do you make sure they never want to go anywhere else? Barbara, I think my favorite thing that you can do to set yourself apart is have a specialty. I am a specialist in that I'm super duper good at customer service, and I am good with difficult dogs. I am not a scissor. I don't have special breeds I do better than others. I do special temperaments better than others. So that's where my area of specialty is. Do you think specialties help set you apart?
I do, but don't become a Lagoto Romanolo expert, because you'll get stuck with those dogs that hate grooming and have the weirdest coats in the world. And I made that mistake.
That's funny.
But in my earlier days, for a number of years, I was Bichon specialist. But of course, I did all breeds welcome. Certified master groomer with a Bichon specialty. But then I realized that was not exactly a model for profit because Bichons take so long to do. And I was doing them all in little abbreviated show trims, and people loved it because they love their fluffy dogs. But I couldn't do as much work per day and make as much money. Especially, it was okay when there was just like one a day, but when there was just like 3 or 4 a day, I had to say, whoa. Another one of my specialties was standard poodles.
Oh, Barbara, that's crazy. I guess what Barbara's saying is choose your specialty wisely.
A good thing to do is sort of like cruise around your neighborhood or your community for a while and get a sense of what dogs are popular, what's showing up in your neck of the woods, and then specialize in that.
That makes sense.
Boy, you could make money in Tucson, Arizona, just specializing in Chihuahuas.
Up here, it would be doodles, unfortunately. I'm sure that's kind of the case everywhere. But I think variety is the spice of life, which is why I choose a temperament type of a specialty, because I like to do every kind of dog out there. I like to try them all, although I'm definitely better at some than I am at others.
I landed, well, after I did Bichons and standard poodles for years, I did back to my original, which was terrier breed profile. And so it wasn't show dog terriers or anything like that, but it was like adaptations of the breed standard trim on pets. And that was a big, that that really, it made me stand out, and it also kept clients with me.
For sure. And there's variety in that.
And there was variety. There's much more variety in terriers, and generally speaking, they didn't take as long to do as Bichon or standard poodles.
You could also do start to finish grooming. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. But having a specialty, it helps people to find you. You also need to be able to be found online, because in today's world, people are going to Google dog groomer near me and see what's out there.
Yeah.
Yep. So that you don't have to pay for that, but you do need to talk to someone who is an expert at the search engine and what's important in keywords and all that, and focus on that. I like to tell my clients that I'm looking for people. And when you tell your clients what kind of people you're looking for, you can get pretty specific. So you could say, I'm looking for terriers. Do you have any friends that have terriers that are looking for a groomer, or something like that? Because your clients really are your best advertising. Word of mouth between your clients.
Yeah. If you can get referred by a vet referrals are gold. You know, they're just golden. Even if you don't have a high expectations, to go around to all the veterinary establishments and introduce yourself, because just being a known face, and if you have to, go every month and see how your cards are doing and fill up the holder again and talk to the receptionist person who books the appointments.
Yes. And they'd love to have someone to refer to. As a former vet receptionist, you get asked those questions a lot. Where do you go for training? Where do you go for boarding? Where do you go for grooming? And a lot of vet hospitals know that having grooming is oftentimes a bigger hassle for them than it is a benefit, although it can be fantastic if you train the groomers right to spot things and to get vet care when needed. That's how the vets make their money. But I'm a proponent of bribes. I like to bribe. One of the ways I have always bribed these people to mention me is by doing some free grooming. I will groom the receptionist dog for free, or I will groom the vet owner type dog for free, and let them know, have some personal experience with the way I do things. And then I will always show up with cookies or donuts or pizza when I go over to talk to those people, because they remember that, totally remember it, add the cards, give them to the receptionist, give them with a box of cookies. And that will make an impression, and then they will always remember you when that phone call comes in. Make your community connections for sure. Include the pet stores and the boarding places that don't do their own grooming. Sometimes if you're mobile, you can work something out with boarding kennels where you go by and do the dogs there once, twice a week or something. It's also important to use the internet by making Insta moments for your Instagram, or little reels for Facebook, or things that get the dogs out there, or your services out there, or your face out there, so that those pop up when they search for the groomer near me as well. And then lastly, I think pre-book your regulars so that you know how many people you actually need. Make sure they're coming back, and also telling their friends. And that's it. Barbara, anything you want to add to that?
You have to use the shotgun approach. Unfortunately, one single thing isn't going to do it. You have to keep doing. It's your work when you don't have the work. Got to put in the time. The better you know your community and have contacts and network around you, the more it will bring people in, because just putting up a sign, unless there's like nobody within miles, it's not going to do much of a difference, because there's a lot of groomers out there doing their own thing. What's different about you? What's special?
Oh, she brought cookies. That's oftentimes all you need is a receptionist.
The cookie groomer. Yeah.
That lady that brought the cookies, or that dude that brought the cookies. Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. Well, I think we can call this a show and box it away and set it in line to be edited. And I'm happy to say, for those of you who don't know, which is most of you, Barbara's having surgery tomorrow on her knee. We'll just leave that at that then. Well, thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for supporting our sponsors. Thanks for supporting us at the website. Remember to share us with your friends. Hit that like button. And happy grooming, everyone. We'll see you next time on the GroomPod. Bye now.
And take care of yourselves, because we love you.